everyone, I'm Lisa
I'm Lori.
and we're here to do the weekly challenge chat update with Lisa and Laurie. So thanks so much for joining us. We're going to talk to you this week about what's happening in the cross stitch challenge world to do with all the different prompts and challenges. And most exciting of all this week is there's stuff happening in No New Starts. So I think first thing we do is we cover the birthday sales. Click over on Saturday, the 16th. So you get to click over to, you can still work on a Mirabilia and a Haid. In particular, there is, just wrote them down, Lady of a Flag. Do you have Lady of a Flag?
Not me, no.
Oh, and Haid, a piece called Sonara.
Nope. I haven't Haid, but no, not that one.
I have Haids and mirrors, so that's fine, any of them. And then there's also two other options this month. There are lots of birthday people in No New Starts 2021. So happy birthday to all those who sent in their words. The Blue Flowers Night Walked Down, and also Bendy Stitches Drama Llama. So if you have any of those pieces, you can join with the people, and remember, you just post the start, get some progress, and post a finish, and have some fun with it. So that's the regular thing happening with No New Starts this week. Scrabble will be up on Sunday, so watch out for the Scrabble video. And then we also, though, have a big event starting on Friday. So Laurie, what are we doing?
We're doing it. We're going on a hayride. Yes, that's a fun thing. So basically the premise is in America, during the harvest season, people would go to local rural farms, and the tractors would pull these trailers that are filled with hay bales, and people would just climb on the tractor and you just get towed around the farm. And some farms you can stop and pick produce that's left over, or you can participate in a corn maze. Before they, till the cornfield's over, they cut a maze through it and people walk through it. It's a fun thing. So basically, we're going to participate in those events through this stitching challenge.
Wonderful.
So to start off, we have to purchase a ticket. So you stitch 300 stitches, purchase your ticket to get on the tractor. And then as the tractor moves around, it's going to stop at an orchard. You can pick apples. And to pick those apples, you'll stitch 100 stitches. You can bundle them up to 500 stitches, but for every 100 stitches, you pick an apple. If you pick 5 apples, you get raffle entries. And you can see the prompt for details. Then moving on to the pumpkin patch, you can pick your own pumpkin, large or small. It's 400 stitches.
And we can stitch on anything we like?
Anything you like for apples and pumpkins. For apples, you can stay on the same whip or you can switch at your choice. But on the pumpkins, every pumpkin has to be a different whip. And you only need to stitch 2 pumpkins for your raffle entry award. And you can continue stitching as long as you want. You don't have to stop at 5 apples. You don't have to stop at 2 pumpkins. You can keep going on those. But then you're going to get to the corn maze. And the corn maze is kind of like a roll your own adventure, get through it. So basically you'll stitch 200 stitches to complete your first roll, and you will move, either go straight, turn, or encounter some visitors in the corn maze by rolling a 6-sided die. So stitch your 200 stitches, roll your dice, and the roll key will tell you what happens when you roll a 6, when you roll a 2, and follow the prompt on the roll key. The roll key will say you've encountered some event. You stitch a few stitches plus 200 to roll again, and you do that 6 times. On your 6th roll, you're going to roll an event, but instead of stitching 200 to roll again, you just stitch the event stitches and you're done and you're out of the maze. If you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer those.
Can I work on any project I like for the corn maze?
Yes, any project. You don't have to switch whips, but you do have to post a starting and an ending, and it would be a good idea to post what you rolled so we know and we can verify what your event stitch count would be.
And how long does this event last?
This event will last for 2 weeks. So the event will start on the 15th and it will run through the, did we say 31st or 29th?
I'm not sure. I think the
31st.
31st. I think it goes all the way to the end of the month.
Yes, and so you have plenty of time. If you want to participate in all 3 excursions, you can do that, or you can just stick to one.
Sounds fun. Thanks, Laurie. So that starts this Friday.
Yes.
That's great. Awesome. Well, so much fun to be had on No New Starts this week.
Mhm.
All right,
Yes.
let's move on to the Daily 30. So with the Daily 30, Laurie and I have decided we're going to do these videos every 2 weeks now, because there's not a lot that happens weekly. The monthlies are huge, but the weeklies are not really too busy. So we're going to probably just do every 2 weeks unless there's something really urgent we need to share with you. And so we'll get 2 Daily 30s in one. So the first week is still happening and you've still got a week to finish it. And then the second week's the one that's been released. What are we doing this week? Well, what's last week?
Mad Hatter Week. It lasts from October 1st through October 15th.
Cool.
So the stitch counts for this week are fairly large.
3 and 400.
3 and 400. So 300 or 3 hours for 3 tokens, 400 stitches or 4 hours for 4 tokens.
And remember, alternate stitches, you can add 100 stitches if you wish.
Yes, very true. Okay, let's start out with the first prompt is stitch on something you would find at a tea party.
Okay, well, my choices are very dictated by my knock it over, which, by the way, is still happening in No New Start, so we forgot to mention that.
Yes.
So I was trying to fit, well, as many prompts as I could onto my knock it overs. So I was thinking My Little House Needleworks ABCs, because I feel at a tea party you'd have a nice vase of flowers. So I think that that would work at a tea party.
Absolutely. So I think you would find a chair at a tea party. So I would stitch on grounding force, and in there's a chair down there.
Oh, there's two. Wow, the things that come out of that pattern.
Yes, I know, right?
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Oh.
Prompt number 2, stitch on a whip you can relate to a queen or a whip with a heart.
Ooh, this one's being tricky for me because I don't have any queens.
You have anything with a crown?
Oh, I can do that. Yes, I hadn't thought about the crown. Where is my crown? Trying to not make you dizzy. I have something with a crown, and that would be, here we go. Beautiful. We could do my crown in my alphabet sampler, because let us see, you see the crown up there?
Mm-hmm.
So that's true. I could definitely do that. And in fact, I probably could be fancy. I would dare say that one of these Q stitches is a queen stitch.
Oh, yes.
So
Yeah.
I have to check the pattern, but there'd be every chance. So there you go. Thank you, Laurie. I could do my alphabet sampler. What about you?
I'm going to do, why did you get cracking? Because down here, the mermaid is wearing a crown, and I bet she's a queen of the mermaids.
Yes, that would work.
Okay, prompt number 3. Stitch on a whip with a clock or something you can relate to the numbers 6 or 18. A bonus 3 tokens if you're stitching at 6 p.m. and have a clock showing in the background of your picture.
6 p.m. is right on news and dinner time. But anyway. All right, there we go. Alice by Mirabilia. She's got a clock in her, you're holding a clock.
Oh, I have never noticed that clock.
Yeah. So there she is, and she fits in with the theme. So definitely Alice for that one.
Yes, I would stitch on world travel. And there's a clock and Big Ben there.
Oh, there is two.
Probably some others. I think that's
Yes.
a compass. But anyway, that works. There's a cuckoo clock right there too.
There is. Oh my goodness.
All kinds of things in there. Number 4, stitch on a whip that contains something mad or silly.
Okay. What do you think about this one? My very scary Halloween, because I feel like the dog dressed up's pretty silly.
Yes.
But I also
Yeah.
think it's pretty mad to have the gnomes carving out a pumpkin as well. So I think I could get away with that one.
Yes.
Oh, my computer's doing it again. There we go.
Okay. I'm choosing grounding force because it's mad to fly with scissors. Don't run with scissors, don't fly with scissors. And everything's just so out of proportion. It's kind of like Alice in Wonderland, kind of mad. So yeah, butterflies as big as houses.
That would work.
Okay, number 5, stitch on a whip of your choice and tell us who you would have at your tea party. It can be anyone, alive or dead, or fictional or famous.
There's lots of people I'd love to have a tea party, but I think I'd want to have somebody who would be fun and entertaining. I'm not sure who yet. I haven't actually given it any thought. I've stitched the whip of my choice. That was easy, but yeah, somebody fun and entertaining. Probably actually a comedian,
Oh,
just to make
nice.
everyone laugh and have a good time.
Nice. I chose my sister because I don't see her nearly enough.
Well, that works. That's good.
Yes. Okay, and then the final prompt is the daily 30, stitch on any whip of your choice. It's already passed.
Yeah, you can't do that one for last week, so you have to remember to do that one without us telling you.
Yeah, that's the start. So the next daily 30 event that's up on October 8th through the October 22nd is Octopus Week. The stitch counts are better or easier this week. It is 100 stitches or 1 hour for 2 tokens, 200 stitches or 2 hours for 4 tokens. You ready?
I'm ready. Just looking for the first one.
Number 1, stitch on your oldest whip.
All right, well, I finished my oldest whip. So that means that I'd have to work on my next oldest whip, which is now my oldest whip. And that is the ever so lovely Spirit of Snow Angel by Brooks Books.
Nice.
So my goal is to get to knock her over. So I just need to get her done. I'm almost done with the stitching. It's a lot of blended metallics. And then I just need to do the beading. So then she'll be done.
Very nice. Mine is Cozy Cove still, and I need to work on it. So there you have it. Prompt number 2, stitch on a whip with a shell or a house.
A shell or a house?
Correct.
I mean, obviously I have 50 billion houses. Do you think they would accept a barn as a house, or it's got to be a house?
It's a house for animals.
It is a house for animals. That's what I'd like to work on, but I have a better option.
Okay.
In my true Australian smart aleck self, I'm going to stitch on the Opera House, which is based on shells.
There you go.
In Pretty Little Sydney. So that would give me a house and shells.
Nice. I would stick with grounding force because there is a house there in the background. Okay, stitch on a whip that you've changed the charted colors. Include a photo of the charted colors and explain the ones that you've changed.
The one I finished last week, I changed the entire colors in the Little House ABCs. So that would have been perfect for it, but I finished that last week. And I don't honestly know off the top of my head if I'm currently working on anything that I have changed. Oh, yep, I've got one. I apparently, according to Jenny, as you would have heard in last week's homework video, my video with Jenny, I need to change some of the colours in Strawberry Fields because this leaf up here, apparently the colours that someone converted, we're using the DMC conversion, and it comes out too close. So I need to change the colours for that from the I need to make my own DMC conversion basically so that it can look like the fancy floss.
Got it. Got it. On Get Crackin' that I showed before, there's a few colors that were out of stock and I couldn't find them a couple of places. So I had some just over dyed thread that I bought randomly from a supplier, and they're close enough and they work for me. So I just subbed them out. So that works. So next one, stitch on a whip with a ghost.
With a ghost. I think for the first time, I will actually be using my alternative stitches this week because of my knock it over plans. But I do have a piece with a ghost that I could choose to stitch on if I wanted to. And that is Sleepy Hollow by Tiny Modernist, because there's lots of ghosts flying around that one.
Yes. I am alternate stitches. I have no ghosts.
No ghost for you?
No. Okay. The last prompt is number 5. Stitch on a whip with a heart or something that is charted in blue.
So by charted in blue, do you mean the whole pattern's charted in blue, or just that there is something blue in it?
It doesn't really explain that very much. It really just says, well, because the prompt says octopus blood is blue. So something that's charted in blue. So I would imagine any item that is blue in your design.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's the case. So you're getting the live version of me today. I haven't done any planning for this one. I would like to probably work on, now you'll laugh because I could use this for another one, my spring house trio, because the house is blue, the raindrops are blue, the birds are blue. So I should be able to do a lot of blue on that one.
Yes.
And yes, it's a house. I know that.
Yes. I could pick anything, but probably I would stick with Get Crackin' just because the water's blue.
Well, that makes sense.
And the last part of that is the daily 30, which you can still participate in. You have 5 days left if you get on it today to stitch 30 minutes a day, post starting and ending photo for each day.
Awesome. Okay, we'll move along to Mythological Stitchers next. And just for this week, they do have a weekly event for each week, but I'll just read you the one that's starting today. And that is Awuro Odo Festival. So this is in Nigeria. The Odo are spirits of the dead who return to Earth to visit their families every 2 years. So first one, stitch 200 stitches on a project that features something that could be used as a percussion instrument. I mean, obviously, if you have a percussion instrument, that would make life easy.
I do have something. So here in the store, there's crates and crate lids, and you could drum on those.
You could also use the spokes of the wheels, like a guiro sort of sound. I am a bit more logical, because I can be. And I think for me, this would be my choice, because 12 drummers drumming.
There you go. That's a drum.
Any of the 12 days of Christmas type of ones would have 12 drummers drumming in it.
Sure.
200 stitches on a project featuring a mask or some sort of a fence.
I would just stick with As the Leaves Turn. There was a fence there in the back of the pumpkin.
And I would actually stick with my spring house trio because there's a fence in that. So that's a nice easy double dip. Stitch 200 stitches on a project that has only male figures or some sort of food.
I think I would. My gnomes.
Oh, yes.
Let me share him. I'm just going to share the whole
That's fine.
album. That little fellow there.
Yep. Little male gnomes. You never see female gnomes, do you?
Every now and then they'll have both female and male, but not that often.
Much. No. Well, for me, I would be double dipping this one. My Scary Halloween, because of it's got the little gnomes doing the pumpkin there. So that would be the one I would be picking for that. And lastly, 200 stitches on a project that shows a hill or a garden growing crops. Well, I know what you'd be doing.
Yes, it needs so much love.
It does. Good. That's a great, it's amazing how much that gets.
Yes. Language of flowers.
It's got the garden and garden growing crops. Oh, I'm not going to stitch on this one, but this is the one that comes to mind the best for me, that if I was going to, I could choose to work on my Scarecrow Festival, because I always feel like that's a garden growing crops. It's like crop grass and the pumpkins and things, so that would be cool.
Yes, that's cute. Haven't seen that one.
No, well, that's because it had a problem anyway. All right, then that brings us through to the supernatural stitches. Supernatural stitches is called swap meat, as in eat meat. All right. The subheading says, kids these days, am I right? All right, so remember the idea of these is you pick whichever ones you want to do, you do however many 100 stitches or time you want to do, and it earns you imaginary money to spend on your stash. Firstly, stitch on a project with a tropical theme to salute Sam's banana daiquiri. Anything tropical?
Yeah, well, kind of. We'll see. See, some people think of tropical as jungle, and some people think of tropical as beach.
Yep.
So would you say they mean beach?
I don't know. I think, if you can explain it, you'd be right.
Okay, well, I'll just be safe and do world travel. So
You got them both covered.
yeah. I would pick, I mean, there's palm trees, but I know it's the desert. That's not what we consider tropical, but like some of this up here looks so.
I would be picking your South American, and in fact, that's exactly where I've gone. First one that came to mind is this one, my South American angel, because she feels like, it's like she's having a tropical daiquiri party. As soon as it said daiquiri, I thought of her. All right. Stitch on a project that features an old styled house. Well, you've got that covered with your As the Leaves Turn, and my Spring House Trio would get them covered really easily. Stitch on a project that includes a cryptid or a fantasy creature.
Oh yeah. Get cracking.
Huh?
Get cracking for me.
I was going to say Kraken, yes. And for me, I would do my very scary Halloween between the gnomes and the witches. All right, this one we don't have to, I'm not going to read that one out. There is a word one that have the letters LITESANCBR. So plenty of options. It's really easy to fit into those. Okay, the next one, stitch on a project that indicates music in some manner or shows food you wouldn't enjoy eating.
Music.
Music.
Or food I wouldn't enjoy eating. That's interesting. I would, well, let's look. Lisa, you are good at picking things out. They're the horns.
Oh, you've got music anyway. I saw there was a squeeze box in there earlier. I think it's down on the bottom row that we can't see at the moment.
Like an accordion type.
Yes.
There it is.
There it is. Yep, I saw that before. So there you go. You've got music there.
Yes.
I caught a glimpse of that earlier today. All right, here we go. My other option for 12 Days of Christmas, Joyeux Noel.
Yes.
right? It's got trumpets for starters, it's got drummers drumming, and plus it's the song words. So I could do that one.
Absolutely.
Okay, we've covered this. This is double dipped, a project that shows growing plants.
No, yes.
That one's easily double dipped. That's what I love about these. It's easy to double dip everything. Okay, stitch on your biggest project.
World travel.
Yes. Well, for me, I probably have to really look and see which one is my biggest. But I think they're all pretty similar. I don't have any super size. They're all regular size. So my stitch in time, which I clicked away. Sorry about that.
Sorry.
Stitch on a project that has shadows being cast. I know one of yours that has shadows.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. Shadow or reflection. So I would just do world travel, and I'll show it just to point that out. There's shadows here
Right.
from sun there.
And the
very
shadows in the boats just next to those pyramids in the water, the shadow of the boat.
Yes, definitely.
That works. Well, I'm not stitching on this week, but if I was going to, this would be my shadow piece. My mountain cabin, because there's heaps of shadows coming across that veranda.
Yes.
So yeah, you need a fairly realistic thing, I think, to get a shadows. Oh, smallest. Your smallest. Well, for me, that would actually be my snow angel because she's only little. What's your smallest?
My smallest would be the girls that I'm currently backstitching, and backstitching is not my favorite, so it's slow going. But yeah, the girls, that's the smallest.
All right, stitch on a project that you're stitching with another stitcher, either as a round robin or a sow.
The gnomes.
Your gnomes, yes, your gnomes. And for me, I'll show this one again. This was my birthday sow for last year, Strawberry Fields Forever. So in very least, I'm stitching it with Jenny and a few other people. So I could keep working on that. It's amazing, like even just narrowing down to my 21. I have shown a few outside the 21 today, but I'm not finding it too hard to fit them in.
Yep.
Okay, stitch on a project that features a couple or something witchy.
A couple.
I'm going to jump in and go. My very scary Halloween has witches in it.
I have no witches on anything that I've started, but there is a couple in world travel. Oh, hang on. I was about to share everything, not the zoomed in version. So, okay. So there is a couple sitting right here having.
Oh, there is.
Yeah.
Amy Stewart is just so amazing with her detail in her artworks. It's just phenomenal. Things she thinks of to put on there. And lucky last, lots of choices for this one. Stitch on a project which has been stressful for you or has a television reference or you haven't worked on in at least 6 months.
That's tough. I think I've touched everything, and I don't do TV, so I would pass on stressful. Confetti. Probably world travel would be my most confetti heavy piece. Yeah.
There you go. For me, I've got one of the 6-month ones. This is on my list to knock it over, Evergreen Lane. And I haven't worked on it for 6 months, so I'll knock it over. Okay, so I think that's basically it. All right, so hopefully that gives you a few pointers and you'll know what to do. As said, come along and join the fun if you're in No New Starts and the Hayride. And if you're not in No New Starts and you want to get involved in the fun, you're going to have to wait till next year but you can come along and join us now. Just look for the No New Starts 2022 Facebook group and come and join our fun.
Yes.
All right, until we see you, I'll see you next week with the normal floss tube, and we will catch you later. Have happy stitching, everyone.
Bye.